My name is Dennis Gabory, and I'm the founder of Zimkids Orphan Trust in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. It started back in 2005. My wife was a Fulbright scholar and was teaching. We were deciding between Zimbabwe and Bolivia, and we decided we could do Bolivia when we were 80, so why not go to Zimbabwe? And we ended up in Zimbabwe. While she was teaching, I met a woman who took me over to the other side of town. And I got involved. There were these two children that I met at this one place. The boy's name was Talent, and the girl's name was Progress. She was 6, and he was about 16. But they were both HIV positive, and he was extremely sick. And I started working with them. In other words, I went to where they were living, which was in a hospice, because they were on the verge of death. And somehow, through working with them and getting them food and getting them medical care, they started getting more healthy. And eventually I had them placed in an orphanage where they're thriving today. And through my interaction with him and her and with the lady who was running this group, I wanted to do something for these kids. And so we started a doll and wire toy competition. And it spread like wildfire. The first year I took a few dolls home, and people went crazy over them. So I just thought, well, there's a real shortage of food there, and kids could help their families out. So I thought, well, maybe someone would be willing to buy these. So I started selling them. And this next year, when I went back, I had some money, so I was able to give food prizes away. And then the third year, we focused only on one neighborhood instead of 15. And then I was able to sell enough dolls to provide a food basket for every family for a whole year every month. Our budget at that point was maybe $10,000 in a year, but these dolls would provide all of that money. And I'd go to speak at churches and schools and so forth. I could have dropped it at any point in time at that point. If I had to go home and not be in Zimbabwe anymore, it would have been easy to drop it. But then I met my co-conspirator, Tanasha, and the two of us started developing a kids club out of this one neighborhood. And through that kids club, we developed a council of elders where our 15 to 18-year-olds were leading all of the programs. And then one thing led to the next, just very naturally.
My name is Tanasha. I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm the director of the Zim Kids. I run all the programs, supervise every activity that happens at the center. As I was growing up, because I had a difficult childhood, I always wanted to grow up and be the parent that I wished I had. So the only way to do it was to give to the orphans, all those people with the same childhood that I had, so that they have someone who cares for them in their lives and who motivates them and show them that they can make it in life no matter what comes. They just have to believe in themselves. When I was growing up, the school would want textbooks, would want exercise books and pens. And so I had people who used to give me those. They would see that I didn't have shoes for school, and somebody would come to me and say, here's a pair of shoes. So with that made me to appreciate whatever I get. So I thought, so how can I pay back? Some of those people who has been helping me, I don't remember them now, and I will never see them. So I thought, okay, instead of looking for those people, I can give it to somebody else. That's my payback. So whoever who needs my help, I can help anytime, anywhere in the world.
They have taught me that no matter what your background, we all have our stuff from our childhood, that some of us go to therapy for 20 years to work out. And somehow these children have survived brutal circumstances. And Tanasha is a good example of that. And yet they find joy in the simplest thing. They find joy in a moment of playing with each other. They can smile and have fun. And even as they grow up, they can laugh about the beatings that they got. They've shown me that I can give without feeling like I have to get back. I was never the type to speak in public. I never would have aspired to this. I found when you're passionate about something, you are able to put yourself in situations that you otherwise would never find yourself in. When you've got a child that you can give a smile to or a memory to, even as something as simple as that, let alone a vocational skill, that gives their life more purpose.
I'm living my dream. This is all I ever wanted in my life. Working with these kids, it just makes me feel like I have the reason to be alive. I used to think that maybe only it's with Zimbabwean kids. Then I realized no, it's actually all the kids. When I come here in America, I meet different kids from kindergarten to college students, and whenever I'm with them, I don't actually miss home. I just feel comfortable. I feel like I have so much to offer to them. Since I've seen that we have different lives, like here in America, there are so many choices of anything. So I feel like having to talk to kids here would make them appreciate what their parents are doing for them. So it always makes me happy. I feel like, oh, I have a purpose to be alive. Dennis taught me everything, and now he invites me to come here, go around America together, which is very good experience. So much that have changed in my life. I feel like I'm a parent to these Zim kids. Some they get sick at the midnight, they get to call me, and it makes me feel more responsible. And I love that feeling of being responsible.